Seventh grade. It's Mr. Altopp here, and I'm speaking to both our STEM students and global studies. First of all, I want to wish you happy thoughts here as we are coming back from break. And this screencastify is meant to kind of walk you through how to connect a main claim to a central claim. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to provide actual student examples from paragraphs 22 through 26 of the Commonwealth Club speech, which I have right here. Probably should move my face away from the text. 22 through 26, which was from student guide sheet number 3. And it is asking you to, at the very end, it's asking you to connect the main claim. What is the main claim of paragraphs 22 through 26, and how does that main claim connect to the central claim? So I've actually done this work as well, and then I have 3 student examples. The thing that I want to be clear with you about is that in these open-ended responses, these text-based responses, there is no one right answer. So even though I have answered this question, how does the main claim connect to the central claim? I'm not the only right answer. There are different ways that people can express themselves with this. So I do want to encourage you to do your own thinking with this. So if we look at 22 through 26, the one thing that I am noticing right away is that Chavez immediately starts talking about the growth of Hispanic influence. The trend that gives us hope is the monumental growth. And then he talks about increased population, social economic clout, increased political influence, all of these positive things. He also uses statistics here. And then he says, it's absurd to believe or suggest that we are going to go back in time as a union or as a people. So if you look at how that connects up here to the central claim, our union will forever exist as an empowering force among Chicanos in the Southwest. That means our power and our influence will grow and not diminish. That first paragraph in 22 is all about the growth of the Hispanic people. Okay. Now, here's where some people may get a little bit tripped up, is that then he goes on to talk about all the bad things that the growers have done. The growers are putting poisons and herbicides and pesticides. They're abusing nature, and we can't drink the water, and all these kinds of things. Okay, so those 2 paragraphs are very, very negative, and they're not necessarily about the growth of the Hispanic people, except that what you have to see is that in paragraph 25, that the taxpayers are now attacking the growers and figuring out that they have been abusing the system. They've been getting handouts, they've been getting government welfare, they've been getting water subsidies, they've been getting all these benefits, and the taxpayers, the urban taxpayers, who are, right here, urban taxpayers, those are Hispanic people, they're not going to take it anymore. So when you kind of think about what is my main claim going to be about this section, it definitely has to talk about the Hispanic people and their influence growing, and how they are not going to allow the growers to abuse people anymore, and that is going to increase the Hispanic people's influence. Okay, so let's go now to what I say. This is my teacher explanation. This is one way that you could explain it. My main claim, get my face out of the way here. I say that the growth of Hispanic political and economic power has directly challenged the abuses of the growers, which we just looked at. There is no way that the union or Hispanics are going to go back on the way things were before. It's absurd to believe or to suggest that we are going to go back in time as a union or as a people. So I say there's no way that union or Hispanics are going to go back to the way things were before. How does this connect to the central claim? The main claim connects to the central claim by showing the ways that the Union and the Hispanic people have continued to grow and how they are using their power to make things better for all Chicano people. Okay? This is one way that you could describe it. If you want to say this, this would be a 4 on the rubric. Let's go to Frankie's student. This is an actual student, Frankie. Not their real name, but it is a real student. Frankie says, for the main claim, they are growing in population and growers are going against them. Now, Frankie, I don't know who they is or they are. I assume you mean the Hispanics. They are growing in population. If that's the Hispanics, that's true. And growers are going against them. The text really does not support that the growers are going against the people who are growing, the Hispanics. The growers are doing many, many bad things to the environment. That's what the text says. So in terms of what this main claim is, I do agree with the growth if you mean Hispanics, but the growers are not really going against them. How does this connect to the central claim? The growers often try to blame the Union for their problems. So growers often try to blame the Union for their problems. So this is basically a restatement of this very same sentence here. That's not a very good way to put in how this connects. If you are just copying and pasting in, that's not a good thing. So this would be a 1, possibly a 2 on the rubric. Frankie, that's Frankie. Austin student. Austin is also a real person, not their real name. So how does the main claim, let's see what Austin says is the main claim. The growers are the main source of the problem, true, because they poison the groundwater, increased attacks on publicly financed handouts and government welfare, open the door to imported produce, and abuse and exploit the workers of the land. Okay, Austin is mostly correct here. Increased attacks on publicly financed handouts and government welfare. The growers did not do that. The taxpayers attacked the publicly financed handouts. So the growers are actually getting these handouts and government welfare. Okay, so the way that Austin is describing this is not totally accurate. Also, we must show that none of what Austin is saying here has to do with the Hispanic people or the Chicano people growing. So this is actually not a very accurate main claim in terms of connecting to the central claim. Let's see what Austin says about the central claim. The main claim connects to the central claim because although the growers continue to try to stop the Union continues to thrive. True. This helps enforce the fact that the Union will forever exist. True. So overall, Austin is doing his own thinking. It's not perfect. This is probably a 2.5 to 3 on the rubric. The first part with the main claim, not as good as this central claim, the connection to the central claim. So Austin, you're on your way. You're not quite there yet. Let's look at Isha. Isha says the main claim is, as the Chicano people's power grows, they are increasing awareness about the growers' wrongdoings. This is 100% accurate. So in looking here, all of 23 and 24, all of this is how the farm workers are pointing all of these abuses out. So the Chicano people's power is growing. They're increasing awareness about the growers' wrongdoings, and they're doing something about it. Okay, so that's very accurate. And then how does that connect to the central claim? This connects since it shows that the Chicano people's power is actually growing, since they are now able to reveal what the growers have been doing. This increase in influence is due to the Union being an empowering force. The language of this is completely accurate. It's totally different than what I said. I said main claim connects to the central claim by showing ways the Union and Hispanic people have continued to grow, how they're using their power to make things better for all Chicano people. So you see that Isha and I have said things differently, but we're expressing specifically the way that the Hispanic people have continued to grow in influence, and also mentioning that they are helping to bring down the power of the growers. Okay, so I want to encourage you. There's not just one right answer. If you do your own thinking, if you look at the text, you carefully consider the text, there are many, many ways to be correct in your answers. So I encourage you to be thoughtful in what you do, and I wish you the best as we go through our end of unit assessment. Take care.